Hello everyone, I just want to say thank you for watching this recording about poster prep for the Research and Pedagogy Festival for 2024. And if you have any more questions that have not been answered by the end of this recording, please feel free to email Dr. Hall or Dr. Kaiser, and they'd be more than happy to help you with some of those questions. So on our agenda today, we will be talking about the differences between pedagogy and research posters, and looking at some examples of both, as well as some design tips for your posters, more poster examples, the audio file that will be uploaded, and then what everyone wants to know about the most, submission and due dates. First and foremost, some of you could be wondering what a Research and Pedagogy Festival is. This could be your first time entering the Research and Pedagogy Festival, so we're just going to go over a little bit of what it's about. So what constitutes research? Research presentations involve a completed study that use qualitative, quantitative, or mixed methodology to describe and explain a phenomenon or practice related to education or counseling. So this is a screenshot of a previous year's poster that gives an example of a completed research project. It shows what research looks like with the use of preliminary findings and gathered data. So as you can see, specific data, specific numbers. And then pedagogy tends to be more practitioner-based. So the literature review has been thoroughly reviewed, but there had been no formal study done quite yet. So this is an example of another previous poster that showcases pedagogy, where you can see that it's not as specific in regards to data and numbers since the research has not been done quite yet. So first steps, you want to identify your research or pedagogy project. So this is going to be your topic of choice that you'll go through within your classes with your group members or your professor. And then you're going to want to build on a course assignment or class project. So like I just said, finding that topic kind of based on what class you're in or what you're working on, what topic interests you. And then you're going to want to tap into your clinical teaching experiences. And then, most important, you're going to want to complete the intent to participate form. This allows us to see that you and your team will be moving forward with your project. You only need to submit one intent to participate form per group, so only one person needs to submit it on behalf of everyone in the group. And then the biggest thing is you need to contact your faculty mentor as soon as you can so that you can have another pair of eyes on the project as well as get some advice throughout the way. And then you want to make a plan, so when you're going to be asking for advice or when you're going to be showing them based off due dates and submission deadlines. And then you're going to want to begin organizing your content. So on this page we have a link as well as a QR code to our website where you can find all information and important documents that you'll be utilizing. There is no password for the site, so all you have to do is scan the code to access all of the information. These are the poster components. So for example, you're going to want to include the title of your poster. Just to note with that, the title that you have when you fill out your intent to participate form does not have to be the final title that will go on your poster. So your title can evolve as time goes on. There's nothing wrong with changing as it goes. Then you want to make sure that you're writing students' names that are involved in the project, as well as the faculty mentor or mentors that you will be using throughout the process. You're also going to want to talk about your College of Education Center affiliation, if applicable, so from which department are you earning your degree. Then you're going to talk about research questions or project objectives for pedagogy, and then the description of the study or project, so what you're studying, and then some methods used to answer research questions or to implement a novel approach. So you'll go more into detail with that. So you're going to want to do a summary of results that includes a clear and concise conclusion. And your poster should include visuals like charts, tables, graphs, things like that. Just make sure that if you are taking photos of anybody, you do get the consent of the participants if those are used. And then you're also going to want to, in your audio clip, address the following questions. So why was this topic of interest to you? Why is your study or project important? And what did you learn throughout the process? So as far as formatting goes, here are some examples of some posters from previous years. So the one on the left is ideal because it has a large title with good size font. It has photos and visuals, but is also not too text heavy. Whereas on the right hand side, you can see the poster is very text heavy and the font size is too small and difficult to read. So as you can see, nice, it's got great formatting. However, on this one, it's a little too heavy. It's a little bit more difficult to read. So some extra poster tips. Your font should be legible. So you want to make sure that your font is not too difficult to read. So Times New Roman, Arial, and Garamond are great fonts. You don't want to use illegible fonts like brush script where it can be a little harder to read. You also want to make sure that you are keeping everything consistent throughout your poster with font size and type. So you want to make sure that you're not using anything smaller than 16-point font. It may look big on the computer screen, but when you print it out, it's going to show up a lot smaller. So you want to make sure that you're using larger font than 16 throughout your poster. So here's some more tips for a quality poster. So what makes a good poster? The title is short and draws interest. Long titles can be hard to keep up with, so you want to make sure that your title is really drawing the interest of people around you and making sure that it's eye-catching. You want to make sure the word count is only about 300 to 800 words. It's really important that your poster is not too text-heavy, or else it could be hard to read and hard to follow. You want to make sure the text is clear and to the point. In the use of bullets, numbering, and headlines also help make it easy to read. And then something important to note is you want to be effective in your use of graphics, color, and fonts. You really want to be careful and mindful of the colors that you use for your poster. Sometimes colors show up differently on your computer screen than they might on a printed poster. Always make sure, and then I'll be consistent and clean. You want to make sure that everything looks aesthetically nice. And then you also want to make sure that you are using citations and using acknowledgements appropriately. So here's one example of a previous poster. These posters that I'm going to show you utilize the template that is listed on the website in the Documents and Forms tab under Participant Info, and you can play around with the size of the boxes just depending on how you'd like to organize it. So here you can see this poster does a great job of having a big, bold title where you can read very easily, as well as you can see throughout the smaller text box with the different topics. It's very easy to read, it's clear, it's consistent. The graphics complement the poster, they don't take away from it. And then same thing, this is similar to the last one. So it has great consistency in the font, in the type, as well as with the visuals. This one's a little bit different. They use pie graphs and charts, but same idea goes here. It all does a really great job of balancing between the text. So this one is a little bit more text heavy than the previous two. However, it's balanced very well with the graphics included. Same here, you could see they include multiple visuals, so that same idea of consistency with balancing your text and your photos and font to make it all look very cohesive. So on to the steps for submission. So step 1 is to complete the intent to participate form and begin the checklist. The faculty mentor will sign off on the checklist and approve the project. Both of these forms are available on the Documents and Forms page and submitted through a Google form. So it makes it very easy. So you want to make sure that both of these are completed as soon as you can, just to make sure that it's in and accounted for. And the checklist allows you to keep track of what you need to do, as well as what you need to get signed off on. The faculty mentor will be the first in line for review for your project as you are preparing to submit your poster electronically. So going off of that, step 2 is electronic poster submissions that are due for review. So like I just said, once your poster is approved and accepted by your faculty mentor, the student, so only one of you needs to submit the poster via PDF file on the Google form on the Documents and Forms page no later than Wednesday, March 27th at 11:59 p.m. And this is going to be for both undergraduate and graduate students. And then both the co-chairs, Drs. Toll, Kaiser, and Hall, will review the posters, and then students could be asked to make changes to their posters before it is officially accepted. And then on to step 3. In regards to audio, you can record the audio using any app on your phone. It doesn't have to be iPhone specific, but it needs to include the questions such as, why was this topic of interest to you? What did you find? Why is your study or project important? What did you learn from this process? And then it should be about 2 to 3 minutes in length. So like I said, you can use any app as long as it includes an explanation and can be uploaded to the Google form, then it is all good. So step 4, after you submit the audio, the poster submissions with the audio is going to be due. So in the Google form, you're also going to attach the PDF file along with the audio no later than Friday, April 5th for both undergraduate and graduate students. And like I just said, the form can be found on the Documents and Forms page. So step 5, printing your poster. So luckily the Fab Lab at TCU inside the library on the first floor can print your poster for free, which is awesome as long as your poster is academic in nature. So for this, you can completely print for free. And then below that is just the formatting for the posters. So your poster needs to be brought in on a USB flash drive or use one of the PCs to download your poster onto a Fab Lab USB flash drive. That makes it the easiest way to get it transferred onto their system to print it. As far as the poster itself, just note that it will not print edge to edge, so it will be 1/2 inch short around the edge. So just be sure to keep that in mind when you're creating your poster online. So if you are using graphics or expanding those text boxes, you just want to be aware that if you do pull it all the way out to the side, it could get potentially cut off. And so I would recommend also buffering in at least a few days before the festival occurs to get your poster printed in order to avoid any last minute issues. Or if it gets printed and the formatting looks off, which it shouldn't if you're using the template, then you can get it reprinted and fixed. So step 6 would be displaying your poster. So towards the end of March, you'll be contacted with details on how to display your poster in Blue Ballroom C and D. So they'll let you know where you're going to do it with more details. And the intent to participate form is really important here because it allows Dr. Hall, Dr. Kaiser, Dr. Toll to figure out how many people will be presenting or how many posters there will be. And finally, step 7, presenting. So all your hard work is finally paid off and highlighted. It'll be highlighted for others to see. It's super exciting that we were able to host the event this year in the Blue Ballroom and have such a great space to present and interact, as well as enjoy some light refreshments. So on that note, the reception will be from 5 to 6:30 p.m. and this is going to be for both graduate and undergraduate students. So please be prepared to make an appearance to present and answer questions about your research, as well as take the opportunity to interact with your peers' research. So the way that the presentation works is less similar to a formal presentation, more along the lines of engaging with those who show interest in your poster by answering questions and talking more about the work that you did, just kind of showing people, hey, I'm here, I'd love to talk about my work. So that's what that looks like. So The intent to participate form is in the participant information section of the website, and then the poster template, checklist, and submission forms can be found under documents and forms. And one more time, here is the QR code to access the website, as well as where to find the forms and templates and checklists. And on the left-hand side is a visual of what you're going to see. So you have your poster template, your poster checklist, form for review, and then form for final submission, all on that page. And then when you click on the participant info tab and select timeline, this is what it's going to look like. So you have your March dates, the 20th, checklists and posters due for review. The 27th is when you'll receive feedback about your posters. And then you get into April, the 5th, where your final poster is due with audio. The 19th, your printed posters need to be turned into Dr. Hall. The 23rd is when the virtual festival begins. And then the reception, the in-person reception and presentations will also occur that day as well. And the 23rd, the virtual presentations that you guys will have submitted online will also become live, so you can view your own work as well as your peers' work, and it's also going to be where the winners will be announced. And then the 26th, so a couple days after the festival, you need to retrieve your posters from Dr. Hall or they will be thrown away. And once again, here's a final recap of the dates and times for the festival for both undergraduate and graduate students. So April 23rd is going to be the reception from 5 to 6:30 in Blue Ballroom C and D. If you have any remaining questions, please reach out to Dr. Hall, Dr. Toll, or Dr. Kaiser. Thank you all so much for taking the time to listen to this recording, and I wish you all the best. Bye-bye.